Detroit Sports Nation. We about to have a party here at the news desk today because we all talked about it. We all said this is the biggest game of the season. The expectations have not been higher since the start of the season, since Hard Knocks, since we were all sipping on this Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. And finally, to finally be rewarded in convincing fashion in games like these, there's no better feeling than what we're seeing right now. The Detroit Lions, a convincing 34-23 victory against the division foe Minnesota Vikings. Got your week 3 revenge after fumbling a double-digit lead. You finally get back at them in an unbelievable game where you get team contribution all around, which unbelievably is becoming the Lions' identity. I'm in complete shock from what I'm seeing, man. This is crazy what the Detroit Lions have been putting together. They're 6-7 now on the season. And there's so much credit to go around. This isn't like a team like the Chiefs where they have a Patrick Mahomes who's a supernova of a talent, but they have holes all through their roster. On defense, their run game, sometimes their offensive line. Like, they have things that Patrick Mahomes can mask to still help them win and look great. The Detroit Lions are giving everybody their individual assignments, and everybody is contributing on the group project. When everybody's doing their research, everybody's doing their homework, and everybody comes in on time, contributing equally, these are the kind of products you get, and these are games you can stamp and believe in. Because the Detroit Lions are for real, man. Say it with me. The Detroit Lions are for real. You are not seeing a mirage at this point, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this game. Again, 34-23. I'm going to try to go in order. I'm so excited about this game. I'm going to try to break down each phase of the game and who deserves the credit for what they did and how they played today, because this is an unbelievable performance from top to bottom for everybody involved, starting with the offense. And it wouldn't be fair to start talking about the offense without going straight to Jared Goff. An unbelievable game by him. I'm sure he's heard plenty of the chatter of people wanting him out and wanting to be, just the bridge guy and looking for the quarterback of the future. Myself included, I definitely was one of those voices. But now, to be in a position where he didn't have the greatest support from his run game today, it was clearly a game where he was going to have to be the reason that the offense was thriving. And that's exactly what happened today. 27-39 from his field, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, and did a spectacular job of spreading the ball around to everybody. Not just keying in on Amon-Ra St. Brown by himself. Getting DJ Shark 7 targets, catching 6 of those for 94 yards, including a deep ball touchdown, which maybe have been Jared Goff's best throw of the entire season. Unbelievable play by him. 6 catches for Amon-Ra St. Brown, 68 yards. Josh Reynolds had an awesome game for 5 catches, 51 yards, an awesome touchdown in the red zone. Khalif Raymond did a really good job with some clutch catches and third down conversions for first down. Also his special teams play as well. He did a really good job of setting the offense up in favorable field position as a punt returner and a kick returner. He did an awesome job with that. The offensive line keeping Jared Goff clean for the majority of the game, and this is what they needed. This is exactly what they needed. Again, we don't want to have to be able to lean on Goff consistently in games like this. You want to be able to have your offensive line play well with your run game and ice the clock with key runs. But this was a game where Goff was the MVP of the offense. He was the one that had to stand tall, and he did exactly that. And it wouldn't be fair but to talk about anybody else but him at this point to start this thing off with the offense. He was fantastic. Someone else who did a key job in terms of what the offensive contribution was Jameson Williams. J-Mo, his first touchdown, his first NFL catch of his career. A bomb 41-yard touchdown by Jared Goff, where looked like it may have been broken coverage. I'm not too sure, but he had about 10 yards of separation from the entire Minnesota secondary. I don't know how he got so open, but I can tell you what, I predicted that it was going to happen. It's a big thing and a big deal for us to be able to enjoy our victory laps in our hot taking predictions that we make sometimes, and I'm really enjoying this one, man, because J-Mo came out against the Jaguars, didn't really get much action, just got one pass thrown his way, and now to get maybe biggest play to set the tone for the Lions to start the game, a 41-yard bomb to score first against the Vikings at home, and then you get to go throw the ball to your father to keep a hold for memorabilia. Absolutely fantastic. I was so happy for Jameson Williams and so happy for myself as the hot take artist that I feel like in this moment. I'm giving everybody credit for doing their part, and I want to take the proper credit for that. I'm going to just take my victory lap. Let me do my thing. Let's get over to the defense next, man, because they were fantastic. I told you that their identity was a bend but don't break defense. And when you see them come together with all three of their levels as well, you see what their potential could be. Even letting up 23 points, even letting up 200 yards from Justin Jefferson, even letting up 425 yards from Kirk Cousins, 31 of 41, did have 2 touchdowns. You were able to withstand all that. Minnesota was 4 of 10 on third down. They tried going for it twice on fourth. You were able to stop them. You created 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles. You sacked him 4 times. Actually, you sacked Kirk Cousins 3 times. You sacked Dalvin Cook once, which was for bugs. And it looked like on that play, Dalvin Cook was maybe going to throw the ball because he was holding it in his hand like this. He wasn't holding it like he was trying to run. It was looked like it was a trick play. Either way, you strip it out of his hand. Kirby Joseph scoops it up 30-yard line and is able to put the Lions in favorable field position to move the ball after that. You're an opportunistic defense, and it's okay to be that, especially when your defensive line is growing and getting better, getting more pressure, getting more hits on the quarterback. Kaminsky's still making plays. Hutch got another sack. James Houston got another sack. It's so much growth being shown right now from this defensive line. And again, even to think about in the future with this draft, knowing you'll be able to potentially add a Jalen Carter, knowing you'll be able to potentially add the kid from Clemson, the defensive lineman, and so much talent in this draft. Will Anderson, Alabama, and so much talent sitting in that top 5, and you are in a position to be able to add that to your growing defensive line. You don't want to just grab a star defensive lineman in a draft and put him around a bunch of nobodies that ain't going nowhere. You have D linemen that are turning into very key contributors. Hutch turning into a star. James Houston turning into a very, very impactful situational pass rusher who maybe even see some more time outside of just third down because he's been all over the place. The linebackers doing their job now. Anzalone doing a really good job in pass coverage. Malcolm Rodriguez doing a really good job in run support. The cornerbacks in the secondary doing a good job. Again, creating turnovers, being able to stand up to a Justin Jefferson and an Adam Thielen, being able to make key breakups when you needed it the most. And you honestly did it in a clutch situation where you didn't even have your best cornerback. Jeff Okudah spent most of the second half on the sideline, if I'm not mistaken. You were able to get this victory without him, which is phenomenal because he's been a huge cog in his team. He's been not even arguably, I think he's probably been your most consistent defender on defense. And you were able to you were able to take convincingly a victory against your division rival without your best defender with the next man up mentality. You were able to put him away convincingly. I'm so happy for this team, man. So happy to see how good this defense played. Shout out to everybody. Jerry Jacob making plays. Mike Hughes playing the game of his life. Just unbelievable contribution all around by this entire team. Owarie had to play some snaps, and we remember how bad he was against Minnesota in week 3. And then he had to come in for Okudah and was able to hold on just enough to help get this victory. Shout out to this defense, man. Shout out to the defense. Now, we got to get to me, maybe the most important, the coaching staff. The coaching staff deserves so much credit for what they did today and how they did today. Their performance was fantastic. They weren't perfect, but they were way better than they did week 3. The game plan and how they were able to control the tempo of the game, how they were able to get everybody involved, how they were able to get players in space to run with the ball and attack third down and attack the weakness of that Minnesota defense. They did a fantastic job of that all game long. They started off a little shaky with some penalties, but outside of that, I think Dan Campbell was fantastic at his clock management. Ben Johnson did an unbelievable job in his creativity. Aaron Glenn doing a good job in finding packages of how to get to the quarterback and how to limit Dalvin Cook offensively. This coaching staff was phenomenal, because while we talked about Jameson Williams' first catch, which was one of the biggest plays of the game, another thing that we need to talk about is the grit of Dan Campbell being highlighted twice in this game today. And these were arguably the two biggest plays of the game, because, again, we talked about the grit and his gutsiness and, his lack of fear sometimes being his detriment. But these are the games where you get to see the reward of grit and gutsiness from Dan Campbell. And it was absolutely fantastic to see. An unbelievable run on 4th down. The Lions had 4th and 8, and they go for it with CJ Moore in the punt position, where he scampers from the Lions field position to the Vikings field position to give the Lions first down to help them go score. An unbelievably gutsy call by Dan Campbell. Unbelievably gutsy, and it paid off beautifully. And again, we're just talking about some big first catches of one's career. I can't believe this play happened. Penei Sewell icing the game for the Detroit Lions off an unbelievable call by Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, drawing up a play where Penei Sewell motions from the perimeter, crosses the line of scrimmage, sets out as an eligible receiver, catches the ball for 7 yards, dives forward for the first down, and stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. Penei Sewell, and then smacking the defender after him like the best he is. Oh my goodness, Penei Sewell. I cannot believe it, man. I cannot believe that play. That was unbelievable. I just shouting my lungs out. I definitely lost my voice at that point while watching the game. Again, there were so many surprises. It was so many dramatics that came with this game. And to me, that's why this may be one of the greatest Detroit Lions games I've ever seen in my life. Dan Campbell, this is a signature victory for you right here, man. Easily the best game of his career. You're now getting that much closer into the playoff picture with a 6-7 record, where the Giants just lost. The Buccaneers are still looking fluky. The Commanders, I believe, are on a bye week, so they're not really going to move anywhere. But you have the tiebreaker over them and the Giants. So if you keep winning, you keep doing your part, you keep destiny in your hands, you keep your fate in your hands. Now, you're going to need some things to work out, but you got to keep playing effective football like this. Complementary football where everybody is doing their part. You're seeing how effective this team can be, how dangerous this team can be on defense, on offense, special teams, the coaching. You're seeing how impactful and how dangerous these Lions are on all three phases, and also with their coaching staff. This is unbelievable. I'm so happy I'm seeing what I'm seeing. This is going to be a great time celebrating all week. Just going over the highlights. I can't wait to sit over here and watch this over and over again and celebrate what the Detroit Lions did today, guys. This is going to be awesome. Talk to me in the comments section, though. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what your reaction was about the Lions' amazing victory today against the Minnesota Vikings. What was your initial reaction? What's your reaction now? Where do you think this is going to take them in the future? Tell me what you're thinking about the Detroit Lions and how they played today. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel as well as we ramp up on our way to 6,000 subscribers. Help us make that happen with your love. We would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you tap into our social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation. And make sure you tap in with me as well at I Am Eric Vincent. I got some more content coming about the Lions. I cannot wait to keep talking about them. Excuse me as my voice keeps cracking, by the way. Anybody clips this and makes fun of me, I get why. But be clear, we are going to be unpacking more from DSN, the Detroit Lions win today. Catch me tomorrow on Beyond the Box with my co-host AJ Riley. Every Monday, 7 o'clock, if you subscribe to the channel, if you hit us up on our Facebook page or our Twitter page, we go live every Monday at 7 o'clock to unpack what the Lions did. We also talk other football. We got college football maybe on the books, a little bit of basketball if necessary, but we're going to be unpacking and celebrating as much as we can the greatness that was shown by the Detroit Lions. And I would love to have you there with us. Make sure you subscribe and be there every Monday, 7 o'clock, Beyond the Box with DSN. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you being here. It's a great time being a Detroit Lions fan, and I'm having a great time celebrating with you guys. I'll be right back here again with another update right here from the DSN News Desk.